Today we're going to show you a little bit of Unreal. Hopefully down the road we'll have a Unreal class just to do straight up VR stuff. So what I'm doing is just opening a project. If you're doing VR, you would start off with a VR template, get into that, but basically we're just creating a new project. We're just going to want to see what Unreal will do for our projects. So I'm opening up Unreal. There's Unreal 5 out. I have a 4.25. I'm kind of old because the tracker situation still works in the older one. Not sure about Unreal 5. And also Unreal 5 VR is not completely set up yet. Unreal is very similar to Maya. Zoom in and out, same features as the interface here within the scene. You can hit F, hit A to hit everything into the scene and so forth. But what we want to do is bring in my screwdriver. All right, so I'm going to go over to here, and you see my screwdriver and also my two sets of textures. So this is diffuse map, normal, and then this is everything bundled together, metallic, ambient occlusion, and also roughness passes in here also. So there's a lot of packed in to 3. It says not 3, there's actually 5 different textures. All right, so let's go ahead, go back into here. A lot of you like this to drag things onto here. Let's see if that happens here. No. Oh, it does. Actually, it does. All right, so it was just static mesh. Now, if you had an animation in here, you would kind of indicate that here. We're going to hit import. All right, it imported a whole bunch of stuff here. All right, did come up with no smoothing group information. I don't think I smoothed out the edges. So I'm going to drag in the screwdriver. I'm going to hit R, just like in Maya, and kind of go up on the sizing of this, or try to. Let's see. Zoom in here. I'm going to hit F. And we see it's below the ground here. Let's see if it's even working here. Let's see. W. Let's pull it up. F. All right. So it is there. I've just definitely squished the fudge out of it. All right. So I'm definitely need to size this up. You can see it's completely white. There's no color to it. I'm not sure why. You can definitely do the scale over here. It's in a negative territory, so I'm going to type in 20. Kind of scared why it was saying negative, so I go in here and hit 20, 20, 20. All right, awesome. All right, so you can even go bigger with that, so it's kind of small. You can't really see it. Now I'm going to import my textures, all right? And this is really where you need to start paying attention to the naming convention of this, all right? So there's really not much difference. This says screwdriver. So I'm going to call this 2. This is a really bad naming convention, but I need to know the difference between these two. One is the base and one is not. So I'm going to start off with just doing this right here. I'm going to bring those in. They're importing. This is kind of the base color. I think this is just the this part of it. All right, so what we're going to do is going to create a new, right click and hit new material. So we're going to make a material editor. All right, so we're going to double click this. It'll kind of bring up to kind of a blueprints thing, which is kind of cool. And again, it's just like Maya. You can zoom in and out. I think you can hit Alt and just, well, maybe it's not. Should be able to zoom in and out and move around with middle mouse. I think it's acting a little funny. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our materials in there. And so first we'll do the diffuse map. So this is a normal, and this is our base color. You can actually see it say base color. All right, so base color, we're going to take the RGB and from the base color, and we're going to go over to the base color. All right, and you should see over here some color change. All right, so this is indicating that color was transferred over. That's all we want, is our RGB to go over here. And if this is confusing, it is. I actually had to watch my own tutorial on how to do this because I do forget quickly, especially with alpha channels. We'll do that later, maybe today or tomorrow. So RGB, this is a normal map. So normal map will give it that bumpiness. I don't think there's a lot of bumpiness here. I can see a little bit of it with our dirtiness and grime and rust. There should be little bumps in there. That is what your normal maps do. All right, so this is the big enchilada right here. So if you have a lot of textures and bumps and so forth that you've done, this is your basically your ambient occlusion, metallic, and also your roughness map. So this one is tricky, and this is why I always have to go back and watch other tutorials and my tutorials, try to make it simple and keep it all together. So RGB is basically everything, but then you can break down the RGB and also alpha into sub categories. So with the R, we're going to drag this, and this is a drag over to ambient occlusion. All right, should update it, and really nothing exciting is going to happen. Maybe when we do metallic, it will. So G is roughness. All right, that's a roughness map. And you can probably start to see some sheen on this. So we made it a little bit more metallic. So all these different layers are different maps, okay? And then B is going to be our ambient occlusion. This is probably the most beautiful part of everything. So we're going to do drag this, and we're going to go to, not ambient occlusion, we're going to go to metallic, sorry. And I am not seeing it, metallic. All right, boom. All right, so that gives it that shininess that we have. All right, so you can see there's 3 different maps happening. All right, so typically, I think sometimes you hit OK. I think we're fine here. So we're going to go ahead and hit, yes, we'll hit apply. And also save it real quick. All right, so really quickly we'll drop that, and we know it's on this part of the handle, so we're going to drag it, and I have no idea if this is going to work or not. So we got our new material. You would probably name it, right now we don't. We can right click and rename, or let's say metal. And I will have to do this because we have a lot of textures with the class. It's going to be really challenge to do that. All right, so I'm going to drag this onto here. And you can see that we have 2 distinctive textures on there. You can see the metal, all that grime and dust that we have. All right, so we're going to rinse and repeat. Do this for the base part. All right, so you can see it automatically split it because we renamed this a long time ago, Substance Painter and also in Maya. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add a new material. It's already 7:30, so it's coming up. Class is coming up. And I'm going to go in here and dump the rest of the textures. Let's see why it's not popping up. All right, so I'm going to pull this down for a second. Hopefully not show all this horrible. So open up a folder here, Burris Prints. All right, and desktop. And we're going to do screwdriver 3. All right, and we named them. All right, make sure we have that naming convention 2, so we know that is our second one. So I'm going to pull that in. Hopefully it's importing. All right, my desktop is a mess. All right. And sometimes it wants to know what a normal map. That is normal. So typically it does want to know what you're doing. All right, so we're going to go to that second texture. All right. All right, here it is, new material. Sorry, it took me a second to see that. And we're going to rinse and repeat this. We're going to pull in our diffuse. It's very simple to see it too. And that's a RGB. Again, we've been breaking up the RGB, but RGB that has everything. We're kind of going to spin it around so we can see the name. Let's see. It's actually challenging to see the name. Oh, interesting. Oh, there we are. All right, there is our name that we added. And again, I'm going to, all right, so we're going to add the other names. Make sure we grab the right one. Let's see. You see as I bring them in, oh, they're two. All right, two. All right, we'll do our normal. That one's easy. RGB to normal. Boom. All right, and we rinse and repeat. And this is our one that has everything in it. And again, I have to slow down. I have to look over at my notes. R is for ambient occlusion. Okay. All right, you should see this update over here on the left. So that did not go to my ambient occlusion. Let's try that again. All right, so we have an ambient occlusion. G is going to roughness. Blue is metallic. All right, so blue is metallic. All right, and again, you hear me slowing down. I have to literally look at my notes. All right, this is in the wrong order. It'll look weird. Now that's awfully shiny. So I may have blue metallic. Green is roughness and red is ambient. All right, so everything is correct. Just looking a little wonky. All right, so we want to save. We also hit apply. I think hopefully it did that. All right, so we have our new material. You can see it right here. Again, you can rename it. I'm not going to do it for this for time's sake. We'll go ahead and go like that. All right, so really quickly, we can see that we have our screwdriver. It is actually really shiny, so something is off. Now, we could go into that material editor and knock it down. There's a lot of stuff that we can do in here to knock down the shininess. It does have a little bit of the grit and so forth, but that's about it. That's all you have to do for bringing in your texture. Maybe if I'm not selecting it, it's not so shiny. It is shiny. So maybe I've got the ambient and metallic mixed around, but anyways, the metal part looks fantastic, and you can see as I spin around here, it looks pretty good. So again, we can go into that material editor. Maybe it's because I didn't apply it, but we can take it and definitely adjust the material so it's not as shiny. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do in Unreal with textures to change it so they behave in a different way. All right, I'm going to stop here, get ready for class, but that's what we have for today. So just a little bit of the insight, just a scratching the surface of texturing, bringing your textures into the Unreal game engine. And this is the same thing for Unity. Not as many maps, but the same process.